This is Annual Quality Stocks. Today's Friday, April 8, 2011. And today we're going to take a look at Longway Petroleum Investment Holding Limited. This is an Amex company trading under ticker LPH. This chart's one of them cases where we talk about if something falls through a strong support level, a lot of times you'll see a bounce, it'll come right back up and test the underneath side of that support level again. This fell off pretty hard, fell through this $1.90 area. Yesterday put together a nice move, 529,000 shares traded. Slight increase over the previous day, but about average for this company. A pretty decent volume, close at $1.70, up 8%. MACD giving hints of a possible bullish cross as the histogram's trending back towards zero. It's given that head fake several times through here without making much of a move. So we want to pay attention to it, see if it actually can break through this time. Pretty close to a base level, so it's certainly worth putting an eye on and see what it's going to do today. Not your typical tight pinch, but a very similar setup. See the ADX just now starting to flatten. That's something that we look for. Buying pressure yesterday, of course, spun the positive and negative DIs. They both made sharp moves. That's what's flattening out that ADX. When ADX starts to flatten like that, that's when I really start paying attention to this, trying to put together an actual reversal. Not getting too much overall from the MFIs. Starting to put together a return yesterday with the buying pressure. You see, this has really had a difficult time getting through and holding above 50. That's still obviously days or weeks away. If it's going to try and put together this move to get these longer-term components of the MFI back up over 50, that's what we're going to need to look for to show it's actually going to break out of this bearish sentiment that it's carrying right now. Accumulation distribution still in a downtrend. But I do like to see that it's trying to make a little bit higher of a low. It's something worth keeping an eye on. Again, we'll try and catch things early in reversals and look for that initial bounce and then possible retrace and uptrend. That's giving hints of that happening. Shaking money flow starting to trend up a little bit, making higher lows. And now it's actually moved above zero, showing that buying pressure is dominant. CCI showing some signs of life. It looks like it's going to try and break through negative 100. Full stow trying to come back off the bottom again, come out of oversold. What I'd look for is just for some things like that trend line to be broken, to show it's going to come out of this little triangle, show it's going to stop making lower highs, and try and work its way towards 50. Tricks, it's still too early on. Again, this is a bounce sort of play. Not going to get much from the tricks, just a lagging indicator. RSIs, of course, all turned yesterday with buying pressure, so they look pretty good at this point. Again, though, notice just trending below 50. If nothing else, take that as a technical lesson as to how bearish that is. And see when it broke back down through 50, right through here, and when it could never make a move and move back above it, this thing just kept dropping in share price. So that's why you always look for that break of 50 and try and see it trend over top of 50. Even though there could be some up and down fluctuations, the trend over top is definitely bullish, just the same as it is bearish when it's trending below it. But what I do see in this, if it wants to come back down, $1.50 has to hold as a support level. I'd like to see it hold something a little bit higher, try and establish a little higher low and try to put together some upward momentum. But on the very bottom, $1.50 has to hold. I want to see this come. I want to see if this is going to come back through this area, $1.90, $1.92, $1.95, right in through here, and see if it's going to test that again. That was a pretty good support level. It was trying to establish itself as support here, fell through it, tried to test it immediately and try and push back above it, but couldn't do it. The fall continued. Now I want to see if it's going to put together a reversal and come back up here and test that again. It's a pretty common thing. They'll come up here, test it, get knocked back down, and if it makes a higher low, and all of a sudden you might start seeing an uptrend develop, and it'll start slowly working its way back through and above that level. Again, that's a technical thing. If something's going on with LPH fundamentally that's really causing this and justifying this to drop off like it is, that's a different story. But from a technical standpoint, that's a pretty common occurrence. If it can make it through that, I'd look for up around this 216, 220 area for the next area of resistance. It'll be pretty strong through there, all the way up to about 230. But like we say, everything starts with baby steps, and that's just seeing if this is going to put together another green day. If it wants to dip back, hold this $1.50, but really try and get these indicators to make their rotations, get out of their downtrends, and start trending back towards zero. Allow things like this pinch to play itself out, and things of that nature. This is very early on in it, and those are the things that are going to need to happen for this trying to find this as a bottom and start to put together some upward movement. As always, merely my interpretation of the LPH chart. This is Annual Quality Stocks. Thank you for watching, and trade smart.